Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we are going to be making a tutorial of this top. I also have an upcoming video on how to make the pants. So forgive me for wearing the white vest with the top, but I needed to show you guys how the top looks. But it's the green top. I made it for someone, so you hear me say it in the video. It's not mine. I made a two-piece for somebody, so I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. So I had to wear something inside to put on the green part. But I also made another tutorial on how I made her pants. She's much bigger than me, so I also made a pants for her, but the one I'm wearing here is mine. You could also tell from the fitting of the top that it's not mine because it's slightly bigger. It's just the belt. Because of the belt, I was able to adjust it to fit better, but if it was mine, it would fit much more better. But the method I used is just the same thing. You just have to repeat everything I did, but with your own size. So you could see with her own, I used her own size, so that's why the belt tied almost to the end. But for yours, you have to use just your own measurement and everything will look better. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make this two-piece. So I'm going to be making it for someone in two different the top part is a different color from the bottom part. So the first thing I did here, you see that I have a fabric folded into two, right? Like this is the upper part here, and then this is the lower part here, also folded into two. This one also folded into two. The width of the one on top, which is this is the back panel, this is the front panel with the extension for the wrap. The width of this here is just her hip measurement, because this is going to be going down up to her hip. So the length, first of all, is her length is 30, but I added like extra 3 inches to it because I'm going to. And then the width of this upper one is her hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5. So this person is quite big. So her hip is 50, around 53 or so. So divided by 4 would give me somewhere almost 14 inches, right? And then I added, because her hip is 53.5, that's almost 54. So divided by 4 would be somewhere here. And then I added 1.5 extra for ease, 1 inch for ease, 1 inch for half an inch for 1 inch for seam allowance, half an inch for ease. That's what I did here. And then the extension in front has about extra 6 inches or 6.5 here. This is because I will use her nipple to nipple as one. So her nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is going to give me about 4 inches. And then I added like extra 2 inches here. I'm going to use 1 inch to fold it, and then I extended it more by 1 inch because I want it to cross over more than where the nipple to nipple stops. But if you want, you can just do nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 4, and then just do extra 1 inch added to it. That way you're just going to use, because I'm going to be folding the end like this, like that extra 1 inch here, you're going to use it to fold the end. So that is what I have here. So we are just going to go ahead and start to add the measurement. Go up to the shoulder, divide the shoulder measurement by 2. So her shoulder is 19, divided by 2 is going to give me 9.5. I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Come down here, 1 inch of shoulder slope, and then I'm going to insert her armhole here. So how you're going to divide it is her bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Whatever you get, you're going to go ahead and insert that here, and then connect it. That's going to be the length from this point to this point. And once that is done, you're going to go ahead and mark her bust divided by 4. So her bust is 47, divided by 4 is going to be somewhere about 11 point. It's going to be at 11 point maybe 75 or so, right? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add half an inch of ease, and then I'm going to add 1 inch of seam allowance. After that, I'm going to go again her shoulder to her waist. So her shoulder to her waist is going to be at 18, somewhere here, and then her shoulder to her hip is 26.5, which is somewhere here, right? And then on this line for her waist, I'm going to do her waist measurement divided by 4, which is 41, divided by 4 is going to be 10.25. What I'm going to do here at the waist is I'm going to add 1 inch. Instead of half an inch of ease, I'm going to do 1 inch of ease and then 1 inch of seam allowance. I'm then going to go down to the hip, and then I'm going to do hip measurement divided by 4, half an inch of ease, and then 1 inch of seam allowance. You see what I did here? Every other part, just divide it by 4. This part here, I added half an inch of ease, half an inch of ease, but just the waist is where I added 1 inch of ease and 1 inch of seam allowance. So I'm going to, this is because sometimes your waist is way too small, and just to get that curve, you don't want that curve too deep, right? So just to get the curve, because this doesn't have any darts, so just to still get that curve but not make it too deep, like to the point where it goes in here, like goes in from this point and goes in very deep, and then it will not look like exactly what, because this looks almost free and straight, except that it ties at the waist that pulls in that waist. So that's why I did 1 inch of ease, 1 inch of seam allowance. So the waist is still loose, but you can just use the tie to maybe tighten it a little bit. So now I'm going to just connect from here to here and then here to the opening. So guys, this is what we have here. So after that, I connected the 1 inch of shoulder slope to 3 inches of neck depth. So I started from this point here and marked 3 inches from this point to that point, and then connected the 1 inch of shoulder slope. So now all I have to do is to go ahead and cut from this point all the way out. But before I do that, on this waistline again, I'm going to extend it all the way to this front panel so that I can use it to also cut off here. And then what I'm going to do is from this part here, I'm going to do 1 inch for the back neckline. So mark 1 inch from the upper part here, give it a curve like this, and then I'm going to transfer it here just so I know where the neckline is, right? Transfer it here. So this is where the 3 inches of neckline is supposed to start, and then I'm going to connect that 3 inches to this point, just like this. You can use your ruler. So from the end of this point here, you're going to connect it to this 3 inches here, just like that. If you want, you can use the curve part just to get a little curve from this here, and then blend it in like this, you see, instead of leaving it like straight. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I'm cutting this out. Once I cut it out, I'm cutting the shoulder slope. So guys, this is it here. All I have to do now is to take it out, because I pinned it down so it doesn't move. My back panel is ready. I'm not cutting any other thing from this here. I'm going to take it away, right? But for my front panel, I'm going to go into the armhole, and then I'm going to cut off a bit of it here, just so that my sleeve will relax better and don't. So I don't want my sleeve to have like any puffy thing here. So I'm going to reduce the armhole in front a little, just like this. So I'm going to be chipping off this here, at least 0.5 here. I'm going to cut this out. But with that said, now the next change I'm going to be making in front is I'm going to be cutting this out. The next change I'm going to make in front is the one that is going to be overlapping, because now I have 2 of this here, remember. So the one that is going to be overlapping, that's the one in front on top. I'm going to reduce it down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in by at least 1.5 down here, or almost 2 inches down here, and then I'm going to blend it into this point here, just like this. The outer one is what I'm cutting off here. You see, I cut off at least half an inch at this end here, down here, and then 2 inches down at this bottom part for the one that is going to be outside. So guys, you see what it looks like. The inner one, I still left it the same, but this upper one, I reduced it by the side here, although I'm still going to be folding this like this and folding it again. But the neckline is bias that I'm going to use to run everything round. And then let me go ahead and also cut out this bit from the armhole. So guys, what I have to do now, you see my back panel here, remember this one here. So this is the back. I'm going to just open it up like this, and then I'm going to take it the way it is now. Take one side here. You see the way it is. I'm going to take one side here, and then I'm going to join this shoulder together like this. This one to this side, and then I'm going to join the other one to this side, just like this. You see? But the one that is straight like this is going to be on the inside. This one that is straight like this, the one I didn't cut off anything from, will be on the inside. But this one that I cut off something from will be on the outside. And then another thing I'm going to do is when after I'm done with, because once you join the shoulder, so you're going to use half an inch, join the shoulder here, half an inch, join the shoulder. Next thing, you're going to take your bias tape and run it from this point here, come back all the way from the back and run it all the way to this point, the inner one. And once you get to this inner point here, all you have to do is just to fold this with that 1 inch you left, like this, like how you normally fold the end of your clothes, right? We are still dealing with the inner part, and then the same thing on this outer one. Fold it this way, fold it again. That's after you've run your bias through the neckline. And then once that is done, we're going to also go ahead and cut the sleeve. But before you attach your sleeve, when you come down to the end here to sew it, you're going to make a belt. You see what I have here? This is about 30 inches of length. All I have to do is 5 inches of width. Fold it into 2 like this, so that when I'm closing in my side seam, I'm going to insert it at the inner part of this, and it's going to come outside like this, and then drop on the front side here. And then I'm going to take one other side, fold it into 2, close it up, turn it over, and then join it on the other side of this after I've already used 1 inch to fold the end here. So these 2 parts here will come down and tie on this side of her body. You see, it's going to be tied on this side here, but that's after. So guys, this is what I'm working with for her sleeve length. Is like 23 or so. So the next, and then plus my seam allowances. So the next thing I did here is just to go from the top, come down 4 inches, mark a straight line from this point to this point. So normally the armhole would have been, like, I measured what the armhole would be, so it would have ended somewhere at 12 here. And then I have a little bit, or like at least 1.5 or so at the end, almost 2 inches. So normally what you would do is, if you want, you can use this method to draw your own. So what you would do is take your basic, like this is a smaller version, but basically you take your sleeve here, draft everything out like this, but then at the end, let's say your sleeve is supposed to end somewhere here, at this bottom part here, you're going to make sure that you have an extension of, like, let's say extra 3 inches from where the end of your sleeve is. So let's say my sleeve armhole ended here, so what I'm going to do is just to connect from this point all the way out like this. That's how I'm going to create this trumpet sleeve. So that's basically how you do it. But with this method now, while I'm cutting it directly on the clothes, all I have to do is I've marked where my armhole is supposed to be, so I'm going to rule a straight line from that point to this point here, and then I'm going to find halfway through that line, give it a curve below like this, and then a curve above just like that. And then from this point here, I'm going to connect it into like the end here, just like this, blend it in down to where the end of your sleeve is supposed to be, which is here. If you have one straight ruler, it would have been better, but mine stops here. So just connect from that point to the end of your sleeve, and that is it. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut from here, and cut every other thing out. So guys, this is what it looks like. Like I said, you're going to use bias just at the upper part here all the way and cross over. You see what I did here? Bias started from this point here and then went over to this side here and stopped here. You see, it stopped here. And then the next thing I did was just to fold this part here. You see this part of this here, I folded just the cloth on itself, and then use bias at this upper part here all the way. The bias just went from this part here and stopped here. This other side here also was folded with the fabric itself. That's that extra 2 inches that we added. 1 inch was just to fold this here. So now the next thing is that, you see this part here, once I finished it, I added this strap here that is like 10 inches or so here, very tiny on the inside. And then from my stitch on the inside here, I also just attach this here. You see, this is my seam here. So this is just sewn on this seam. If you look at it, you see I just sewed it here. This is the seam, my side seam here, but you see I just sewed this on top here, just like this. So when you wear it, you just tie this inner part together like this. You can make this rope shorter. You can use like 7 inches. It doesn't have to be this long, right? And then the next thing you're going to have is this other side. Like I said, when you're sewing it, this strap here is going to come from the inside of the clothes. You see, it's coming from the inside, unlike this one that is just stitched on top, and then this one is at the edge of this point here. The next thing I have here is this other one, right? This one here coming from the end here. So once I finish, I just sewed this belt on top. This was attached on top here. The end is just like this, and then I top stitch it twice here. So it's going to tie on this. So this is it here. So I top stitched it, and then it's going to tie from the one on the side here and then drop here. So that's basically what it looks like, guys. And another thing is that if you look at it, you see that like I said, the strap is coming from this side, and the belt is not really at the waist, right? I came down at least like 1 inch from the waist. That's where this belt on the outer part is. It dropped a little on her waist. If you look at the picture too, you'll see that it's not tied exactly on her waist, like shoulder to waist 17 for her. Sorry, her shoulder to waist is 18. I brought it down at 19. That's where this tie is. This one on this side here. This one here is the same place, like at the end of this cut here. But this one at the side, I brought it down a little just to help pull this like this. So when she ties it, you're going to see that this outer part here is going to look like it's out like this. It's going to look as if it's longer. This lower part here, you see, it's not going to be equal. It's going to drop almost like this. You see, the cloth is still looking the same, but if you look at the bottom part here, you see that this outer one is looking like it's longer. So that's how you're going to get that look. So that is it here. We're going to move over to the pants. So guys, that's basically it. The tutorial is just to show you guys how to make this top, because I was making it for someone. I figured I could just come in here and show you guys how to make it. The pants, I already have several videos on my channel on how to make a pant, but if you'd want to see the process of me making her pants for her, I'm also going to try to attach a video after this, like part 2, on how I'm going to make her pants. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.